How we doing, guys?
Good.
You're saying, looking back on yesterday's game and really the New Orleans game as well, the biggest issue you need to clean up is just ball security and turnovers.
Yeah, obviously the turnovers in the game last night certainly hurt us. The 3 interceptions that we threw and that not getting any takeaways from them, so you're -3 on the turnover ratio. It's hard to win games in this league. Statistics tell you that. And I thought we had some good momentum offensively early on in the game. We had an explosive pass, an explosive run. We're down into the positive territory, have the 1 turnover, and then coming back again across the 50-yard line, getting a little something going. We throw the other interception, and then the one later in the game, we're trying to get back in it. So it's hard to overcome those plays. We have to make sure we do a better job taking care of the football.
Has this been an uncharacteristic stretch for you, these 2 games? I mean, when you look back in recent years, you've done such a good job overall. And when you've had a game like that, you normally come back the next one and don't.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've done a really good job protecting the football. I think Dak has done a very good job throughout his career, being someone who's been able to make plays and then not put the ball in harm's way. The New Orleans game were fumbles by Witt and by Zeke. So again, uncharacteristic of those guys. They're typically very good with the ball. And over time, it's hard to overcome that. It's the #1 statistic in football in terms of correlation to winning, and we haven't done a good job the last couple of weeks.
The third interception, Dak said that he was trying to induce a flag. How do you coach that and say, yeah, because he felt Gallup was getting mauled and they were trying to draw attention to get a flag on that, but you throw it around, throw it at the feet, or what could he have done differently there?
Yeah, there was certainly contact at the top of the route, and in that situation, I don't know that we've ever coached him to induce a flag, but that's what happened on that play, and unfortunately it went to them, and they were able to make the play.
Any update on where things are with Lyle Collins and how he is?
We'll see. We'll take him day by day. He hurt his knee in the game, was not able to finish, obviously, and he's a tough guy. So we'll give him every chance as we go. And the MRI was fine today, but again, we'll just see how he does day by day this week.
How did Knight look when he got it?
Thought he did a pretty good job for his first action in a situation where you're behind in the game and you're in sort of a 2-minute mode and you're throwing the ball time and time again. I thought he hung in there pretty well.
What about Cam? Give 2 sacks. Your thoughts on how he played?
Again, Cam battled. He fought. Oftentimes with Cam, he's got a little bit of an unorthodox way of playing. We call it ugly production. He typically blocks his guy. But again, in that kind of a game, when you're dropping back a lot because you're behind, it's challenging on those guys outside.
After the game, Dak was saying he thought maybe the team was sniffing itself too much after that 3-0 start. Did you get any sense from that they were overconfident and maybe believing a little bit of the hype coming in these last 2 games?
I didn't get any sense of that in terms of how we worked and how hard we've played. I do think guys are maybe trying a little bit too hard in some instances to make plays, and I think that's hurt us in all 3 phases of our team. It hasn't been every play, but just at different times. And I think we just need to settle back in and play fundamentally sound football and be disciplined and making sure that we let the game come to us a little bit. And I think that's been an issue for us, and we've got to make sure we get that addressed as we go.
Is that part of the run defense issues with gap discipline? Is that what typically leads to guys getting out of their gaps? They're trying to do too much?
It can happen for a lot of different reasons, but sometimes that happens. And we just have to make sure that we're gap sound. That's typically when big runs happen, when you don't set edges and you don't win your gap.
What do you attribute to missed tackles? What do you attribute to the missed tackles? We had like 10 to 12 yesterday.
Yeah, we just need to do a better job in space. They have some guys who are pretty shifty out in space. We just got to make sure that, again, we go back to doing things in a fundamentally sound fashion. And, break down the right way, get to the guy's hip, tackle the right way, get more hats to the ball. Typically, we've been a fairly good tackling team. The best defenses are really good tackling teams, and we didn't do a good enough job of that yesterday.
The run defense has been a little bit spotty all year. Is there enough of a sample size to get a feel for where the concern is and what needs to be fixed?
Again, I think it goes back to the basic fundamental things of setting edges on the defense and winning in your gap and being physical at the point of attack and then tackling and getting a lot of hats to the ball. And we didn't do that on a consistent enough basis yesterday, and it hurt us.
You know, every game is different, but like Sean, we played a lot of snaps for you yesterday. Expect to get him out there a little bit more, or the number of snaps he had, is that the cap for him?
Yeah, I think oftentimes his snaps will be predicated on what they're doing on the other side, whether we're in regular defense or in nickel defense. And so a lot of his snaps came because we were playing base defense against their regular personnel. And he's mixed in some other situations as well, getting a rotation with those guys, and he's handled it really well.
One of the big concerns coming into the game was keeping Rodgers in the well and not letting him get out. It seemed like countless times guys let him out.
Yeah.
How do you explain, after that being such a key component going into the week, that it still happened? I know he's good, but how does
Yeah, he's
that?
very good at it, and they're very good helping him do it. There were some instances where, again, we didn't have discipline enough to continue to set the edge or continue to stay in our gap, and we allowed him to get out. But they do a good job continuing to block for him to allow him to get out, and he's very shifty back there. He's got a great feel for people around him in the pocket, and he's very athletic. But that certainly was an issue in the game, and they made some plays when he got out in space.
Do they use that aggression against you guys at times, or they watch you down to create that, if at all? No. Do they use that against
Yeah,
you?
certainly they're very good at it. When teams are aggressive up the field, sometimes they can push him by the quarterback and he climbs and gets out that way. Or if you do spike inside, they do a good job pushing you down in there. So he's good at it. They're good at it. We didn't do a good enough job keeping him in there throughout the game.
With a little more time to reflect on your penalty, anything you might have done differently?
Yeah, obviously I didn't handle that situation well enough. We would have challenged that play. We felt like that was an important challenge at the time to get that yardage, and we didn't handle it. I didn't handle it very well. But again, I thought our team handled it really well. The next play, Zeke makes the big reception, and we go down and score. So our team was unfazed by it, and I thought they handled it well.
Knowing how unlikely it seems they've been to overturn calls, will that factor into your decision-making going forward at all on this PI stuff? They don't seem to be overturning things.
Yeah, obviously, we're all very comfortable with what the standard is. The standard is high. But you have to, in certain situations, you have to see if they're going to overturn them. You know, it's very easy for us to stand on the sidelines and say they'll never overturn it, they'll never overturn it. But, you know, in instances where it's a big play, it was a 39-yard play for them, and to me it wasn't defensive pass interference. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to get it rectified, and they kept to that high standard.
Sometimes the slow motion, or do the replay of the slow motion, in fast motion, it looked like, okay, the ball was late and he was there, but when you slow motion, you can see that maybe he gets to the alert, that kind of work against you on
That was I don't want to speak to this play, and I really don't want to talk very much about officiating, but just theoretically, when everyone was talking about that at the outset, there was some discussion about reviewing these plays, you know, without going to slow motion, because slow motion can magnify contact and timing and all of that.
Been a number of plays this season where you've said, you know, receiver will tell you he should have caught it, Dak will tell you he should have thrown a better ball. Is that what you see from the Cooper bobble, or how much of that is on quarterback as opposed to receiver?
The first interception, I think it's on both of them. Dak can throw a better ball, and Mark can make the play.
Have you expressed confidence in Maher? He's missed 6 kicks in the last 12 games. Is the confidence still, what have you done for me lately? Why do you still have the belief that he's the right guy?
Because he's made a lot of big kicks for us, and we believe he can make big kicks for us again. And unfortunately, he missed a couple yesterday that were important in the game, but you learn from those experiences and you move forward. And again, he's done it for us in the past, and we believe that he can do it for us again in the future.
Is any part of it the fact that there's just not a lot of kickers out there to go look, that you could say this guy would be an automatic upgrade?
You know, we haven't really gotten to that point. Again, we believe in him, and we believe he's going to do a good job for us going forward.
Aside from Lyle, did you come out of the game relatively healthy?
Yeah, Tony Pollard had a couple things going on. Banged up his knee a little bit and also his ankle, but hopefully he'll be okay this week.
How did Tyrone come out of the game, and what did he give you inside?
Seemed like he came out okay. And just his presence in there, I think, is good for our team. He's a veteran player, seems to be around the ball a lot. You know, unfortunately, we didn't play well enough across the board defensively against the run. And, you know, we'll continue to look at that and see how we can do that better.
How did the line grade out overall as far as you talked about the run defense, but also getting the pressure it was or wasn't able to get on Rodgers in that game.
Yeah, we didn't play well enough, obviously, and it started with us not stopping the run on a consistent basis throughout. But again, we didn't pressure him well enough. We let him get out of the pocket too much and didn't have enough of an impact on the game.
How did Van Der Esch play? He was saying after the game he thought that was one of his worst performances. How did he grade out, or what did you see?
It wasn't one of his best games. There were some issues there with run fits and also some missed tackles, and a little bit uncharacteristic for him to be involved in those plays. He's been such a good player for us up to this point, but there's some plays he'd like to have back from that game.
Is it easy for a guy to kind of lose that technique for a game? That's one of the other things he said was get back on the practice field and work on some things. Can you kind of lose that in the game? Tackling technique, et cetera, and footwork.
Talking about Leighton?
Yeah.
Again, you just have to go back and do the basic fundamental things well if you want to be a good defensive team, and we didn't do that in the game. And I don't want to point him out. Just across the board, we didn't do a good enough job. Their ability to consistently run the ball throughout the game hurt us. Again, we didn't get enough pressure on the quarterback. We let them get out too much. They made too many plays in the passing game. We just have to get back to work. We have to look at the tape and address the issues, get back on the practice field on Wednesday and try to get better.
That's still contagious. I mean, everybody points to the linebackers, but a couple of times the cornerbacks didn't sit there and let them get around them, and that whole.
Yeah, we didn't do a good enough job in crack replace when those balls bounce out to the corner. When they crack the safety and the ball goes to the corner, we didn't do a consistently good enough job of making those tackles for short gains.
After Dak admitted that there may have been some overconfidence, is that something that you address, or do you even need to address that issue with this particular?
Yeah, we just got to get back to work. I think our players see where we have to get better. It's our job to make sure that we identify the things, the issues that we have. We have to give them tools going forward to get better in those areas and just focus on each day and try to get better each day of practice to prepare for the game on Sunday.
He said in the big picture, a game like this could ultimately be a positive. Is there a way that you look at it like that?
Oh, I think the most successful players, coaches, teams, most successful people in life, when you have adversity, you become stronger as a result of it. That's something we've always tried to instill in our team. I think that's important, to learn from your experiences, become hardened from your experiences, and go stronger and grow as a result of them. And that's the greatest opportunity for growth in life, is when you have adversity. So we have to look it dead in the eye. We have to get better as a result of it.
What will Tyron be able to do this week? He looked like he worked out a little bit before the game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just take a situation day by day.
As far as Antoine Woods, would you expect him to be able to start working back in this week?
Yeah, he worked in a little bit last week, and hopefully he'll be able to do more and more as the week goes on.
Thank you.
All right, good to see you guys.
Thanks, Jason.